Hello, trust you're doing fantastic. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can install Kali Linux on VirtualBox. Now, the first thing you need to realize is that you need to have the minimum requirements. One, the minimum requirement is that you need a minimum of 2 gig RAM, but I recommend 4 GB. For the free disk space, you need a minimum of 20 GB, but I recommend 40 GB. Now you need a CPU of 2 core, which is minimum, and you also need the Kali Linux ISO. You also need the VirtualBox machine installed on your PC. Check my previous video on how you can install the Oracle Virtual Machine VirtualBox. And finally, it's very important that you enable the visualization technology in your BIOS. So I'm going to be showing you how you can do that. If you don't enable the visualization technology in your BIOS, after you try to install Kali, you will have issue trying to initialize. Alright, so let's jump into today's tasks. So type Kali Linux on your Google and then it takes you straight to the link. Here we are on the official web page of Kali Linux. Go all the way down to the page. Now click on the download icon. Once you do that, it takes you to the download page. You have a bunch of informations on this page, but let me guide you through which specific package you need to download. Now, once you get to this point, you're going to find Kali Linux 2020.4. So this is the version we are going to be installing today. For my system, it's 64-bit. If your system is 32-bit, you just need to click on the 32-bit. Alright, so the recommended package you need to install is this installer. You have it, the complete offline installation with customization. So all you just need to do, click on this download icon. Once you do that, the download begins. So you decide where you want to save this download. Now you can see I have the Kali Linux installer package downloaded, and then I also have my VirtualBox installer. So the first thing you need to do before installing Kali is that you need to install the VirtualBox first. That I have already done. You can check my previous video on how to install the VirtualBox. Now go over to the box. Like before you do this, like I said, you need to enable the visualization technology in your BIOS. Now let's quickly do that in a moment. I have already done mine, but I'm going to explain to you how you can do yours. Click on settings. The next thing you're going to click on is update and security. Click on it. The next thing you're going to click recovery. And then once you get to this part, under the advanced startup, you click on restart now. Under the restart now, you click on troubleshoot. It takes you to reset this PC. You go over to advanced options. It brings you to this environment. You click on UEFI firmware. Take you into the BIOS environment. Press F10. Once you press F10, it brings you to the BIOS environment. Move to the third option to move to the second option, which is the visualization technology, and then you enable it. Press F10 to save and exit. Okay, hit the enter key. Once you press F10 to exit, hit the enter key, then it saves and exit. Now that we had done enabling the visualization technology in the BIOS, the next thing to do is to initialize the VirtualBox. Alright, so this is the environment of the VirtualBox. The next thing you need to do is to click on new. Now this box opens up. So you need to give it a name. So let's call it Kali 2023. The folder, this is the folder. Now let's choose the ISO image. Now to do that, all you just need to do, go straight to where you have downloaded the installer. Go directly to the folder and then choose this installer and then click on the open icon. That's it. And then it gives you an option. Automatically it fills the type option and then the version as Ubuntu, but you can do changes later to this if you want to. So let's go on. Next, like we said, your hardware, the minimum requirement, let's deal with this. I would like to keep it at this point. The memory base, the base memory, so take it to this point. It's cool, 1126, within that range. And then for the processor, so I usually take it halfway. So take it halfway depending on what you have. If yours is 16 CPUs, take it to 8. If it's 4, take it to 2. So whatever you have, just take it halfway. Okay, so the next thing, you click next. It's already pre-selected as 25 GB for the virtual hard disk. For me, like I said, I will recommend 40. So I usually go around 40, 41. So 40, 41 is okay. So I take it a bit higher than the recommended pre-stated size of the virtual hard disk. And then I click on the next button. This is the summary of all that which has been selected. So the next thing you need to click, you click on finish. But let's do few settings. Go to settings, click on advanced, then come over here, click on bidirectional. Go to drag and drop, click on bidirectional. You might be wondering, why do we need to take this selection? It enables you to transfer file from your virtual environment to your physical environment. That's to your real environment. Okay. All right. So let's do few settings on the display. So for this display, the video memory, let's take it up to around 32. Okay. That's cool. This is okay. So for this, let's take it up to probably 2, or let's just leave it the way it is. Okay. And then let's enable the 3D acceleration. Okay, so let's enable 3D acceleration. Let's go back to network. Let's change this. So let's change this to bridge adapter. Select bridge adapter. Okay, so everything seems very good. Now for this option, you can always change this option, the operating system. So for me, I'll rather change it to, for some reasons, I'll change it to Debian. Okay, Debian 64. Since my system is 64-bit, I'll rather change it to Debian 64. Okay, so at this point, once you're done doing all of this, we need to start in order to install the Kali Linux. So let's click on the start icon. So everything is working as expected. The option we're going to be selecting is the graphical install. So click on enter. It takes you to the next page, which is the language page, that gives you the option to select the language. So all you need to do is to leave it as the default English. So click on continue, and then it's going to ask you to select your location. For me, I just leave it the way it is, the United States. And then I leave it as default American English. All right, so this is the host name. So just leave it as default. Click on next, on continue. Now domain name, leave it blank. You don't need to write anything. Just click on continue. Then full name, at this point you can write something, a full name. So for me, I'm going to write happy. All right, so click on continue. So click on continue. And then you're going to be asked to write a password. So you re-enter the password again. All right, so you click on continue. Now, so the instruction says the password should contain a mixture of letters, numbers, and punctuation. All right, so click on continue. All right, so for the zone, the time, I just leave it as the Eastern. You don't need to choose anything, just continue. So let's partition the disks. So we're going to leave it as the default guided use entire disk. Just click on continue. And then we're just going to leave this as default. Click on continue. Now we're going to use this as default, all file in one partition recommended for new users. We're going to leave this as default. All right, so for new users, it's recommended you go with the default, all file in one partition. So click on continue. And then Now we want to finish partitioning and write changes to disk. So ensure that this is highlighted. So by default, you click on continue. Alright, so the next thing is we want to partition the disk. So all you need to do, so select yes, write the changes to disk. Click on yes. Okay, so click on continue. So this is going to take some time, so let's just wait. Alright, so it's done installing. So the next thing we need to do is to select the software. To select the software, all we need to do is just to click continue. Leave it as default. Don't change anything. Just leave it as default. Click on continue. So at this point, the software is done installing. So we need to install the Group Boost Loader. All you need to do is just have to click the continue button. Okay. And then take the second option. Okay, we don't have to do it manually. Select the second option and then click continue. So we are trying to install the boot loader. The installation is completed. So the next thing we need to do is to press the continue button so that it will restart by itself. So go ahead and click the continue button to restart. So at this point, you'll be asked to enter your username and password. So once you do that, input the correct credentials, then it will log you in. And then this is it. It's very easy, very simple. What we have done is that we have just installed Kali on the VisualBox. Now this is how you can install Kali Linux on a virtual machine. Alright then, enjoy this video and pay attention to the subsequent videos in this channel. Bye.